Hey guys, what's going on? It's Crater, and welcome to CraterMania once again. Tonight I'm doing something a little bit special than what I normally do on the show. If you've been following my channel here lately, I've been doing the 500 movies in 2025 series, to where I'm trying to watch 500 movies within 1 year. And the other series I just recently started was my Crater Time Wrestling series. Other than those two things that I've been focusing on here lately on the channel, I wanted to, keep expanding. And what I did this year is where I do regularly go to conventions. Um, I applied for a press pass for the upcoming HorrorHound weekend in Cincinnati. And I've never done that before because I've never had any kind of reason to get a press pass. But now with starting this channel, I can kind of take advantage of that, I guess. Uh, so um, Fortunately, I did get approved for that press pass. But I'm only going to be going for 1 day this year at HorrorHound, and that's going to be on Saturday. Normally, I would go all weekend. Like every time that I've ever went to HorrorHound in the past, I've always went all weekend. But just had a lot of stuff going on here lately. A lot of you guys that's been following the channel know about all that, and just other stuff with work and stuff. Wasn't really able to get off for the Friday for HorrorHound. Yeah, so 1 day I think is going to be fine for me, and I just wanted to go ahead and promote, Horror Hound coming up. It's in a little less than a month now, because today is February 26th. The convention is on the dates of March 21st to the 23rd, and like I said, yeah, a little less than a month before the show, and I just thought that I would come on here and help promote Horror Hound because I am friends with some of the showrunners, Nathan and Jessica, who have been so kind to me and my family over the years. And, I just want to thank them first and foremost for, you know, uh, let me have this press pass to kind of, come in and cover their show. And just, it kind of helps other people come into my channel as well that's interested in Horror Hound. So yeah, big thanks to those guys. Everybody at Horror Hound. So um, I just wanted to open this up to anybody that's watching, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this on the replay. If you have any questions about Horror Hound Weekend or conventions in general, feel free to ask me any questions in the chat or in the comments below the video. I'd be more than happy to try to help you with anything that I can possibly help you with. Just because I have had uh, several years of experience of going to these conventions, especially Horror Hound. This will be my 16th year attending conventions. So, yeah, I've kind of seen a lot of stuff, and I've kind of figured out as I went along, uh, you know, what to do with these conventions, how to prepare and all that. And so if you guys have any questions, it don't matter what it is regarding Horror Hound or any kind of convention, feel free to ask me, and I'll try to answer the best I can. Um, like I said, I have been going to Horror Hound for 16 years now. My first Horror Hound was actually the first ever Cincinnati show back in 2009, and that's something I'll never forget because like I've been a long, long time fan of Elvira, and Elvira was a guest at that show, so I definitely had to meet her. And I was very nervous when I first met her, but it was super cool experience. She was a super nice lady, love her. Also at that same show, they had a Night of the Creeps reunion. Um, what's funny about that show is I can't remember the guy's name. I think it's Chris Carnell that played the miner in the My Bloody Valentine remake. He was there, but I think originally they were supposed to have had a reunion for that show. And Jensen Ackles, who plays Dean on Supernatural, was I think originally supposed to have done that show, but I think he had to cancel because of something going on with Supernatural, and then he just got, he blew up. That show blew up, and he never got to attend any kind of horror hound or any kind of really regular conventions during that time, because once the show blew up, Creation Entertainment kind of took over and was doing their own Supernatural convention. Um, but yeah, just I have a lot of different memories over the years of going to Horror Hound. One of my favorite memories. Well, I'll tell you my favorite memory right off the bat. And it's just one of my favorite, not just from conventions and Horror Hound, but just one of my favorite and proudest memories ever in life is when my son Noah, we took him to the last Horror Hound that they had in Indianapolis, which is a couple years ago now. Um, that was his first. That was my son's first ever Horror Hound weekend, and he decided that he wanted to be in the costume contest that year. And he dressed up like Dr. Loomis from the Halloween franchise. So before the costume contest even happened that day, he was so proud of his costume. He was walking around the show floor all day. A lot of people coming up to him asking for pictures with him, and just complimenting him on his costume. It was awesome. I was awesome for him. It was awesome for me and my wife Candace. As his parents, we were very proud of him. Um, but we he had never done anything like that before as far as a costume contest goes, so we kind of prepared him, just in case he didn't win and everything. Just you gotta just keep trying. You'll get there. You'll win one day if you don't win. And you got to be happy for the other kids, and because they're putting in just as much work as you are. Well, this kid of mine, man, I tell you, I don't know where this came from, but it's like the spirit of Donald Pleasance took over him when he got on that stage, because he delivered the lines. I shot him 6 times. I shot him in the heart. But all the different lines that Dr. Loomis would give, and I was like, "Holy shit, what is happening right now?" And the and I have to this day, none before that, none after that, have heard such a reaction of cheering from people in the crowd for a costume contest that been at personally. And I'm not just saying that because that was my son. I'm saying it was insane, and anybody that was there knows what I'm talking about at that kid's costume contest. And when my son won, when he was announced as the winner of the contest, I couldn't believe it. It was one of the proudest moments I've ever had, um, as a parent, and it will always be one of my favorite memories of Horror Hound Weekend. Um, Another memory I'll tell you is from years ago. Um, I can't remember what year. I want to say maybe 2010. They had Michael Rooker as a guest. So this was during the time when Walking Dead was blowing up. It was around like season 2, season 3, or something like that of Walking Dead. So Michael Rooker was a guest, and there's always Saturday night shenanigans going on in the after parties and stuff of Horror Hound Weekend. And I remember in the lobby or I think no, not the lobby, but it's kind of like a lobby. It was in front of the elevators and stuff in the hotel in Cincinnati there, which is across the road from the Sharonville Convention Center. Um, in that hotel is where they used to have Horror Hound years ago. They used to have it in that hotel instead of the convention center, but I don't think the convention center was built at that time. Um, but Michael Rooker actually came out during the after party and stuff, and there was some girls out there, and they were like hula hooping and stuff. And he came out there, and he decided he was going to try to hula hoop as well, and it was just, I mean, it was a sight to behold. I mean, just seeing as something I never thought would be on my bingo card, is get to see Michael Rooker up close hula hooping at a horror convention. Um, but there's just so many things like that. And that's one of the reasons why Horror Hound is my favorite convention out of all the conventions I've been to. Um, And that's not just the only reasons. It's because of these memories. It's because of the friendships that I've made over the years with people involved in the convention, with people just that just go to the convention as as an attendee. I've made some of the best friends that I've ever had going to HorrorHound, and it almost becomes like a family reunion every year that I will go to HorrorHound because these are the only times that I'll get to see these friends. I could talk to them on Facebook and stuff all year round, but as far as seeing them in person, having up close conversations with them, these are the only times I get to see them. So that's why going to Horror Hound is so important for me. Um, but but yeah, I mean, I just first of all, before I get into this, before going over the upcoming Horror Hound weekend, I just want to thank everybody that's that's here watching the stream, and everybody that is watching on the replay. Like I said, feel free to ask me any kind of questions if you need help with anything. If you're new to Horror Hound, if you're new to conventions, I'll be more than happy to help. Um, if you're part of the Facebook group, the Fans of Horror Hound Weekend Facebook group, you can find me on there. If you want to message me through Facebook and ask me any kind of questions, you need help with, please go ahead. I'll feel free. I'll be more than happy to help. Um, but let me go ahead and share my screen. I'm going to go ahead and let's look at this website. We'll talk about some of the stuff that's going to be going on at Horror Hound. On March 21st to the 23rd. So give me just one second. All right, here we go. So we got the splash screen right here. Go ahead and just click on that and take us to the main page. So let me make sure everything okay. Get rid of this ad. Make sure everything. I think we're good. Let's see. Wait. All right, there we go. No. Wait. I need to fix this. Just a second. My bad. Here we go. All right. So before we look at the guests and stuff and talk about the guest on this show, um, I want to talk about something that's I think equally as important as these celebrity guests at the show, and that's these guys right here, the vendors. I know a lot of people come to these conventions and they're just there to get their autographs, get their photo ops, and then leave. But there's also a lot of people too that like to come and support these vendors, and with good reason, because a lot of these vendors that do Horror Hound and these other conventions, um, they're really awesome people if you get to know some of them, and they sell and make some really awesome, you know, collectibles, toys, shirts, all kinds of stuff. So I always love seeing a lot of the vendors that I've frequently went to over the years still coming to Horror Hound. And like I said, just like the friends that I made over the years at Horror Hounds, these vendors are they're the only times I get to see them is every year when I come to Horror Hounds. So let me go ahead and click on that. Close that. All right. So first off, right off the bat, we got Fright Rags. Um, if you have never bought a Fright Rag shirt, why? If you're a horror fan and you've not bought a Fright Rag shirt yet, I mean, what's stopping you? Um, because Fright Rags puts out some of the best horror movie shirts out there. And they're not the only ones. There's tons of other companies out there like Fright Rags, like Cavity Colors, like Gutter Garbs, like Terror Threads. There's a ton of them. But Fright Rags has been around, I think, the longest out of all of them. I think the first shirt I ever bought from them was like either 2009 or 2010. So yeah, they're going to be at the show. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of awesome stuff for you guys to check out. I definitely recommend stopping by Fright Rag's booth and picking up a shirt or two. Then you got Mezco Toys. They're at HorrorHound a lot. They always kind of feature the Living Dead dolls line, and then they got a really cool line out now. It's some Godzilla figures. I haven't got any of those yet, but they're on my list to buy because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. So yeah, definitely stop by, check out Mezco Toys. Mr. Seams, I know, is one of the sponsors for this HorrorHound. I'm not too familiar with it. I may have seen it. I just don't realize who they are, um, but I may have to stop by and check out what they got. Let's see. We got Trick or Treat Studios. I mean, if you're a mask fan, if you're like a movie prop replica fan, Trick or Treat Studios put out some really awesome stuff. They just put out like all of the Gremlins 2 Mogwais replicas, and they look amazing. Um, I'm really wanting to pick up the Lenny here soon from that line because he was my favorite Mogwai from Gremlins 2. Um, Amok Time is a long standing vendor with HorrorHound. I mean, that guy has been going to HorrorHound and setting up as for as long as I can remember. Um, he usually has the best selection of like toys and collectibles at his table. I mean, it's a big, long, probably at least maybe 5, 6 tables. I don't know, something like that. I mean, full of like toys, and he's got shelves behind the tables of all these other collectibles. I mean, definitely he has some awesome prices as well. And if you look in this photo right here, this is actually his toy line that he helped create, where he made all of these figures from the different segments in the original Creep Show. And this is the newest one I think he just put out of Jordy Verrill. So I definitely need to pick that up when I stop by his table at HorrorHound. Um, you got Art of Muncie, which I believe his name is Terrence Muncie. I've seen him at several shows. Um, he has some really cool art. If you see right here, that's a picture of Papa from Ghost. If you like that kind of stuff, and he's got a selection of all kinds of different pieces of art. So definitely you can stop by, check him out. Atomic Cotton, really good, awesome people who have some really awesome T-shirts as well. I've never got to buy any of their T-shirts before, but I'm definitely going to try to pick one up this time around if they still have the Prom Night 2 shirts. I definitely like to get one of those from them. I have bought stickers from them though, but they have really awesome designs, really cool people. So yeah, stop by and check them out as well. Um, Betty Pooch, another long time standing vendor with HorrorHound. If you hear my dogs in the background, I apologize. They like to bark a lot, but but it's kind of fits, because I'm right on the Betty Pooch um, vendor picture. So like I said, she's been a long time vendor with HorrorHound. Um, if you want to buy some horror collars or leashes or different apparel for your dogs, she's the one to stop by, and she has some really cool stuff. Um, Bleach Cafe. Not too familiar with them, but that seems like a cool idea. Looks like they want to have like bleach shirts, tie dye shirts, and stuff, different designs. So yeah, definitely check them out. I'm a big horror movie shirt guy. So and yeah, I've got my Horror Hound shirt on tonight. So, but nothing. Nothing too flashy or anything. This is just the shirt that I picked up the last Indianapolis show back a couple years ago. So yeah. Um, Chocolate Treasures. I I'm assuming they make like horror themed candy. I have a friend that used to set up at Horror Hound years ago, and she would kind of do something similar, but she kind of stopped doing the convention thing, where she would make all kinds of different like candies and different treats and snacks and stuff, and they would all kind of have these horror related names to them. So I'm assuming that maybe what Chocolate Treasures is. I'll definitely try to have to stop by and check them out as well. You got Cranked Up. I'm not familiar with them. Creepy Customs, Dan Mendoza, Dead Ink Apparel, Don England, really good guy, really super cool art he puts out. I actually remember meeting him at the first ever convention I went to back in 2009. So yeah, I've picked up several of his pieces of art over here, and and all his pieces are very affordable as well. So definitely stop by, check him out. Gorilla Customs, Hansia Company, Jewelry of the New Age. I hope I pronounced that right. Hansia Co. Not familiar with it, but I'm assuming they do like crystals and stuff based off the picture. Sell all kind of that kinds of stuff. Hairbrained, of course, HorrorHound magazine. Um, Jellyco. I know I've talked to this lady too. She has some really cute art, and she does all kinds of different stuff. Um, like horror related, sci-fi related, and just movies in general related. So if you like that really cute type of art stuff with it kind of has an anime-ish style to it, definitely stop by and check her out. John Kitley, another long time standing horror hound vendor. He's really got some awesome books. I think he does his own podcast. And you can actually, he has several articles that he's done in Horror Hound magazine as well. So, yeah, stop by, check his stuff out. Licksonline.com. So that's Jill and Greg. They're awesome people. Super nice. I mean, probably some of the nicest people that are vendors at these shows. They've been around for a long time, and they have some of the most awesome like apparel, like from like dresses and jackets and beanies and kids shirts and all kinds of hats, all kinds of stuff. So definitely, they're always good to stop and check out stuff. You really can't miss their booth because their booth kind of stands out, and it's such a big booth too for all the stuff that they carry to these shows. So yeah, definitely check them out. Stop by, talk to them. I'm sure you won't regret it. Mr. Hamilton, another super cool guy that's been going to Horror Hound for many, many years. He used to be a part of this like circus act that they would do like an after party shows of, I think it was called like the Invisible Man Corporation, if I'm not mistaken, where they would do like like sideshow stunts and stuff, and it was really fun time. But now I think he's this is what he's doing now, where he's taking like Cupid dolls and like the Frisch's big boy statues and stuff, and he's like customizing all of them into these different like horror characters. And I think this is a Cupid doll in this photo right here that this creature is, just based off the shape and size of that head. It looks like a Cupid doll head. Um, Nightmares Unlimited. This is another super cool vendor. They're the ones that make like these different uh prop replicas and stuff that are all customized by this guy. And he does, I think he's the one that does all of these statues, not statues but the trophies, for like the costume contest at Horror Hound. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy that made the trophy that my son won back in Indy. It has like the Freddy Krueger glove on it. But yeah, definitely stop by, check him out, because he was the last time I seen him was at Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky last year, and that's when they were having this Phantasm reunion. And I meant to go by and grab one of the spheres from him, but by the time I got there, he had sold them all, because they went pretty fast. Because like I said, they had this big Phantasm reunion. It was really cool. One Man Riot, I think this is the guy that sells all the blacklight posters and stuff. He has some really cool stuff. I've never picked anything up from him before, but definitely he's got some super cool blacklight stuff that I think people would like. Um, Paints and Peoples. I'm not familiar with them. They may be a newer vendor to the show, so that's cool. I always like seeing new vendors at the conventions. The Real Ohio Ghostbusters. Yeah, if you're a Ghostbusters fan, you have to stop by the Real Ohio Ghostbusters booth. They do a lot of raffle stuff, like where the money is like donated to charity and all that. And they always have like the Ecto One set up, and and all kinds of different Ghostbusters stuff. They're all decked out in the flight suits and the proton packs. So yeah, if you're a Ghostbusters fan, you got to stop by and check out the Real Ohio Ghostbusters. Um, Severn Films is going to be there. Gags of the Living Dead. That's cool. So like custom crates. I love that. I love critters. Um, Spellbound, spooky, sparkly jewelry. Stephen LaRose Holiday, another amazing artist. He has super, super impressive looking prints. Yeah, stop by and check him out for sure. Synapse Films, Trauma, Vinegar Syndrome for all of your movie needs, Blu-rays, and they sell t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. So definitely check any of those out. Wacky Wicks candles. This guy has all kinds of different designs on these candles that he makes. Super cool vendor. Wicked FX. Um, World of Strange, Fantastic Apparel. Ziggy Kaye Designs and Zombie Works, and more. So yeah, I know that that doesn't seem like a lot of vendors, but like I know that HorrorHound doesn't. They normally don't put all of the vendors on the vendor page because there's so many. So there's going to be a lot more than just these. And one and I promised her I would talk about her because I know she told me earlier that she was going to be a vendor again this year. And I really, really love this vendor. She's such a super nice lady. I've only met her one time, but like she's so super cool, and I'm really impressed with all of her stuff that she makes. So I have to put her over. So her company is called Puncture Wound Pins. So if you like collecting pins, like this is one that I got from her last year of Motel Hell. And like I said, it's puncture. There's her name on the back, Puncture Wound Pins. So she has a huge variety of these pins that she makes. Has really good prices on them as well. Here's another one that I had bought from her last year of Joe Bob and Darcy on that playing card as zombies. From the last drive-in, I think this was an exclusive to the Joe Bob's Jamboree one year. So I had to. I'm a huge Joe Bob fan, and I had to get that. But yeah, definitely, just I want to take time to put her over, her and her company, Puncture Wound Pins. So yeah, if you're a pin fan, I definitely recommend her. Stop by and check her out. Um, so let's go back up here and let's look at the tattoo people, because you may be going to Horror Hound and you may want to get a tattoo on that same weekend, and they always bring in a huge selection of tattoo artists, and I apologize ahead of time to all these tattoo artists because I'm not very familiar with any of them, but I can see just based off the examples on each of their pictures here. They're all amazing artists. It looks like they do amazing work. I love this stab tattoo that shows here, and there's Bela Lugosi Dracula is really cool. Then over here on this guy, you got the Gary Oldman Dracula from the 90s. Um, yeah, super cool plague doctor this guy's done. Um, this is a really cool one. This cartoon Lydia from the Beetlejuice cartoon, and really cool Predator. Damn, this guy done a Dean Martin. Yeah, so yeah, definitely check out these tattoo artists if you want to get a tattoo, because it looks like they all do amazing work. Uh, yeah, this chick did a animal from the Muppets. I'm a huge Muppets fan, so yeah, so definitely check them. They're usually in a room of their own. All the tattoo artists are that it's connected to the main vendor room, and there will be other vendors in that same room with them as well, as they normally are in the tattoo room. So yeah, stop by and check those guys out and set up an appointment with that. And that actually says right here to click on the image to contact the artist and schedule it. So if you want a tattoo from any of these, it'd be best to contact them ahead of time to actually set up that appointment if you want to do that at HorrorHound. So I've never done that, but who knows? One day I may. I do need. I'd like to get some more tattoos on my arms. Um, so let's go ahead now and well, before I jump into the celebrity guest on this, I just want to also promote the HorrorHound Film Fest. But there's a lot of information on that. If you guys want more information on the film fest, just go to the website and check that out. There's a ton of different movies that are going to be showing over the weekend. If you guys want to check any of those out, and then there's also the event schedule. There's a lot of just different fun stuff, uh, like Q&A panels and stuff like that going to be going on. So, yeah, check that out for sure. I know for sure on Saturday, I think there's a horror and music Q&A, and those are always awesome to do and go and check out. The last one had Erie Vaughn and John Christ as a part of their music and horror panel, and I thought that was awesome. Um, but let me go ahead now and just go back and let's check out some of these celebrity guests we got here. So, first off, we got Corey Taylor of Slipknot, Stone Sour. He's one that I'm definitely going to be trying to meet. I'm a big fan of him. I've seen Slipknot several times. I've seen Stone Sour. Um, like I said, I'm just a huge fan of Corey Taylor in general because he just seems like a super cool guy from like interviews and stuff I've watched from him. So yeah, he's definitely one that's on my list to meet that weekend. Ty West, another person I'm wanting to meet, and he's looks like he's making the rounds this year. I've seen him scheduled for several other conventions as well. Um, and I'm a big fan of like the of X and Pearl and Maxine and House of the Devil and Innkeepers, a ton of his stuff. I mean, and he even has a part in the slasher movie You're Next. I believe he did one of the segments for the first VHS movie anthology movie. Um, but yeah, so he seems like a super cool guy too, and I look forward to meeting him. Now, the next batch of guests I want to talk about here is if you're a Terrifier fan, this is the convention for you to go to because I believe it's 11 guests right now, is what they have announced from the Terrifier franchise. And I'll admit that I'm not really a fan of the Terrifier series. I've seen the first two. I haven't seen the third one, but I'm not really a big fan. But I can get it. I get it as to why some people or a lot of people are, um, and I'm not gonna lie. I recognize that Art the Clown is the new big horror icon, much like how Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers and Leatherface and Chucky, all those horror characters are horror icons. And Art the Clown is that new horror icon. I mean, this franchise of movies is really taking over the world when it comes to the horror community. And David Howard Thornton, that plays Art the Clown, I have seen him scheduled for at least maybe 10 or 15 different shows just in this year of 2025 alone. And I can guarantee you that every single show that he does, he will have a huge line. So if you're a Terrifier fan and you're going to Horror Hound weekend, you better make it priority number one to get to David Howard Thornton's table as soon as you can, because I can guarantee you that whole weekend, every one of the lines for the Terrifier people are going to be packed. And like I said, even though I'm not a big fan of the Terrifier series, I definitely get it, and I'm excited and happy for everyone that is going to meet all these guests. Um, and like I said, so there's Damien Leone, who's the director. Then you have the star, David Hart Thornton, Amelia McLean, who was the the little pale girl in Terrifier 2. And then you got a few more that were also in the Terrifier series. Um, Moving on, you got Devin Sawa and Alex McCall from the new Valentine's Day themed horror film Hard Eyes, which I've not watched yet, um, but I will get around to that hopefully before Horror Hound comes around. Um, but so I don't know if I want to be meeting either of them yet. I've met Devin Sawa before. I'm a big fan of his other stuff, especially Idle Hands is one of my comfort horror films. Um, and it's really cool. I mean, a lot of people don't like the horror movie remakes and stuff, but I mean, I don't judge until I see them. You know what I mean? And I know there's this whole uh, rumor right now going on that Idle Hands is supposed to be getting remade. I think Finn Wolfhard, who plays Mike on Stranger Things, has showed interest in wanting to do the remake. So if they do that, that's cool. But I also know Devin from Final Destination, Casper, Little Giants, SLC Punk, and he was also on the Chucky TV series. So, and like I said, I've met him before. He's a super cool guy. He's also Stan in the Eminem music video. I almost forgot about that. But he's a super cool guy. Yeah, really good to me. I recommend if you're a fan of him, to definitely go and try and meet him. Um, Kevin Dillon from the Blob remake, and also know he's also in Platoon, and he was in an episode of that Creep Show TV series. But I've never got to meet him before. I'd like to. I really love I was talking about remakes, but he's in the Blob remake, and I think that the Blob remake is definitely one of the better remakes out there, especially of the ones that were coming out in the '80s. And I think I have some blob movie lobby cards around here somewhere. So I may get something like that signed by him. But I definitely will be trying to meet him. Um, Up next is one of the people that I'm really excited about the most, Barbara Steele, who is a horror movie legend. She is a horror movie queen. I mean, if it's people like Barbara Steele who really paved the way uh, for horror movie actresses in today's standards. Um, so like she's amazing, from Black Sunday, The Pit and the Pendulum, Castle of Blood, Nightmare Castle, a ton of stuff, Italian horror movies that were coming out back in the day. But she's an absolute legend. And I've seen her at a couple shows before, and for some reason, I don't know what it is. I passed on her, but as I've been watching a lot of her movies in the past couple of years, um, I was really like kicking myself. I was like, man, I really hope that a show gets her again because I don't know why I passed on her twice now. But I'm definitely, if I see her at another show, I'm definitely not passing on her. Um, and I'm so glad that Horror Hound has brought her back uh, once again, and I have that chance to meet her again. And she's like my number one priority at this Horror Hound weekend is to get maybe a couple autographs and definitely a picture with her. Yeah, absolute legend. So yeah, definitely I recommend people checking her out because she may not be doing many more shows after this. I don't know. Um, Barbara Hershey is going to be there. I if you follow my channel, I just did a show called Badass Cinema, where one of the movies I talked about was Falling Down with Michael Douglas, and Barbara Hershey is in that movie. She plays the ex-wife who has like the restraining order on him and everything, and she's absolutely fantastic in that movie. But a lot of horror fans will know her from the Insidious movies. And I think she was in like an episode of the X Files. So that's really cool. They got her. I may try to meet her. Like I said, I do love her in the movie Falling Down. So yeah, that's awesome that Horror Hound was able to pick her up. Jane Levy was supposed to have been at the last Horror Hound, but she had to cancel. but it guess it kind of worked out because they're doing an Evil Dead 2013 reunion for this horror hound, and which I like Evil Dead 2013, but it's not up there on the same level for me as the original Evil Dead films with Bruce Campbell. Um, but I definitely do understand why it has such a huge fan base. And she's awesome also in the movie Don't Breathe. And I remember her in the first season of Shameless as well. Um, and I didn't really like it when they replaced her on Shameless. Shameless is a great TV series if you've ever seen that, but it's really fucked up too. So, uh, just just giving you fair warning. But yeah, I think Shameless is still on Netflix too. You can check it. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, definitely check it out if you've never seen Shameless. And then you got Shiloh Fernandez and Lou Taylor Pucci, who were also in the Evil Dead 2013 movie. Um, I That's the only thing that I believe I know Shallow from. But Taylor Pucci, I know him from a couple other things. Like it's got listed the movie Thumbsucker, which he was the star of that movie, and that's actually an image of it and behind him in that background. It's a really like cool indie film if you like stuff like that. It's kind of a coming of age type thing. So definitely, if you've never seen that movie, I recommend it. It says he was in Fanboys, but I don't remember what role he had in Fanboy. I need to go back and look see, but I like Fanboys a lot. This next guest is Joseph Bishara. I'm sorry, I may be butchering his name, but it's a really cool guest because I think this is the first time I've ever seen him at a convention. Um, I don't remember seeing him in any of the ones that I've been to, at least. But you know him as the red faced demon from Insidious, Bathsheba from The Conjuring. Um, he is, and I didn't know this, but it says he's also the composer for The Conjuring and Insidious and several other things as well. Um, but I think this guy, if I'm not mistaken as well, I think he also worked with Danzig on some of his albums back a long time ago, but I could be getting him mixed up with someone else. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, you can correct me in the comments. Um, but speaking of music, here we now have Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills. I know he does a lot of shows, so it's pretty easy to catch him. And I think he also has his own convention now. I think it's called Silver Scream Con or something like that, which is a really cool name. Uh, but yeah, if you're a big Ice Nine Kills fan, he seems like a super cool guy. I'm not really into Ice Nine Kills. I seen him before a few years ago at Louder Than Life, the music festival in Louisville, Kentucky. Um, and you would think it would be something that I was into because of all the horror theme stuff within their music and the stage show and all that. But I don't know. I'm not really into their stuff. I mean, but that could change. I mean, my musical tastes are always changing. Um, but next up on the list is another musician, somebody that I'm really excited to meet at this show is Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. And I believe he's doing a book tour right now as well. And so he should have his new book with him at HorrorHound, hopefully. But regardless, even if he doesn't, I still got to meet him. I'm a huge Lamb of God fan. And he just seems like a really super cool guy. Um, this next one is another one of the main reasons why I'm going because Christina Lindberg, this will be the second convention that I have been to that she will be a guest at. The first was my very first convention back in April of 2009 at a show called Cinema Wasteland in Ohio. And at that time, I had not seen the movies she was in. I had not seen Thriller, A Cruel Picture, or if you want the other name is they call her One Eye. Um, but I had seen the movie after that convention, and I was like kicking myself. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why didn't I meet her? And then it's just been years. It's been 16 years now since that convention that I saw her at. So I'm definitely not passing her up this time. I mean, if you've never seen Thriller: A Cruel Picture, definitely watch it. If you like these like revenge type exploitation films, it is one of the best. It is absolutely one of the best. She's such a badass in it. I love it. Um, can't wait to meet her. Um, so next we have Alicia Taylor, who is Corey Taylor's wife. Not so familiar with the cherry bombs and everything that she does, but that's cool. You know that um, she's coming along with Corey, her husband, and going to be kind of doing her own thing. Um, then you got Tony Revolori, who is from Scream 6, and you know him as Flash Thompson. If you're a Marvel movie fan, the Marvel Studios Spider-Man trilogy, and he was supposed to be at the last Horror Hound, but something happened. He had to cancel, so that's really cool of him to be making up his appearance. Um, and then here we got another batch of Terrifier guests. Um, Again, I don't know much about these actors and actresses from Terrifier, other than that they're in that. But I do see that this guy was also in Stranger Things 4, because I see this picture back here. The I can't remember the girl's name, but it's the girl that Robin on Stranger Things is interested in, and like she sees them together in that army surplus store in one of the later episodes of season 4. So he's on. This guy's on screen for about 30 seconds in Stranger Things. So if you're one of those people that tries to get anybody that made an appearance in the Stranger Things series, right here you go. Or if you're a Terrifier 3 fan, I don't know what his role was in Terrifier 3, but like, yeah, it's just really cool that all these people are making these appearances. Together at Horror Hound, especially like I said, I counted 11 different Terrifier guests for this show. So definitely, if you're a Terrifier fan, definitely check out Horror Hound Weekend. Oh, hey Dana, what's going on? I didn't I hadn't been looking over the chat. I didn't even realize you were in here. This Everybody that's watching, my friend Dana's in here. She says she agrees about Christina Lindberg. Yeah, and everybody that's watching, definitely check out Evil Dana's channel, Evil Dead Chick. And she says she just finished a stream. So yeah, I mean, definitely she has some really awesome content. She does watch alongs. She has a show called Movie Munchies where she talks about she's like she shows you the process of taking these recipes and making these different types of food, and she also gives them all these horror related names. It's super cool. She has a lot of different content you guys should just check out, and she knows her shit, man. She really knows her shit when it comes to horror movies and just movies in general. So yeah, very smart person, and um, proud to say is one of my best friends and is my son's godmother as well. So yeah, thank you for being here, Dana. Um, and then this one other Terrifier guest, Chrissy Fox, will be there as well. Um, Now they've got some spots listed for and more, and I know that they did just announce another guest today that has not been put on the website yet, but that is Saraya from All Elite Wrestling. You may also know her as Paige from the WWE. Um, I'm a wrestling fan, and I'm a big fan of hers. So I definitely got to meet her. I don't see her doing a ton of appearances at conventions outside of the whole wrestling community. I know she does several wrestling shows, but as far as horror conventions, I think this may be like the first horror convention she's made an appearance at in like 6 years or something. So yeah, definitely can't wait to meet her. But yeah, I mean, that's all that they have listed right now on the website. We still have about a little less than a month before the show. So there's definitely possible for them to add several more guests before that. You know, I've seen it plenty of times with not just Horror Hound, but all conventions. to where you could see guest announcements as late as like a day before the convention. So and I do read a lot of people's comments on the Horror Hound pages, and the Facebook groups and stuff. And I know there's a lot of people. It's like, well, they don't have as many guests right now as they normally do, and the guest list isn't that great. Well, I mean, that's your opinion, okay? But you have to also be patient because, like I said, there's a little less than a month left till the convention. So there's definitely a possibility they'll add several more guests to the list. I mean, I have never been disappointed with a Horror Hound Weekend show that I've been to. And like I said, I've been going for 16 years now. Um, and I have several different reasons as to why it's my favorite convention. And it's ran by some of the best people that I've ever met when it comes to these conventions. So, always a fun time. It's very special to me. But you guys let me know in the comments. If you're going to Horror Hound Weekend, who are you going to see? Who are you excited to see? What are you getting signed by them? Are you getting anything signed? Are you going to do any of the photo ops? Um, just tell me what you guys are excited about. What you're looking forward to the most. Um, but but yeah, guys, this has been fun. This is definitely new for me. Like I said, when it comes to covering conventions, I'm excited to do more of these in the future too. When I head to conventions, but I thought it would be best to kick this off right with Horror Hound Weekend, seeing as they're my favorite convention that I go to. So if I want to be doing a convention type series like this from now on, this was the best way to do it. Um, but guys, I guess that's it for me for this stream. Now, tomorrow night, I do have another stream that I want to be doing as a part of my 500 movies in 2025. So this week is Universal Monsters Week, and Universal Monsters is one of my favorite things on this planet. So I'm going to be covering 6 different movies tomorrow night on the stream of the Universal Monsters series. And on Sunday will be part 2 of that, where I'll be covering 6 more. And during those streams, I'll be probably showing off some of my different collectibles and stuff that's in my Universal Monsters collection. So I'll be happy to have you guys watching that either live on the stream or on the replay. Um, if you guys are into the whole Universal Monsters thing. Um, Jason Huffman, thanks for stopping by the stream, by the way. You said you have been going to Horror Hound for as long as I have, so it's funny that we never met. Man, yeah, hey, if you see me, I'll be there on Saturday at this upcoming convention. So if you see me, stop me and say hi, man. Definitely we can have a conversation or two. But that is funny though. You said you've been going as long as I have. Yeah, there's a ton of people that I have met over the years that's been going as long as I have, and it would be years before I even got to know who they were. But there's thousands of people that go to these conventions, so it's impossible to meet everybody that are attending. So, but it always gives us time, in other instances to make new friends. So, yeah, definitely. And you said you've been going a little bit longer than I have. So you said your first was 2008. So was that the year that Horror Hound started doing the conventions? Because I know they started the magazine first, and I can't remember. Dang. Let's see. Well, this year will be 20 years. They're celebrating 20 years. So I'm assuming maybe did they start in 2005 with conventions, or did they just start in 2005 with the magazine? So anyway, I do remember like 2008 was the year that I first heard about the Horror Hound convention though, and I think the Indianapolis show that year in 2008, Corey Haim was there, and I really wanted to go and meet him, and he died shortly after that. So yeah, like I said, I didn't get to go to my first Horror Hound convention until
the first Cincinnati show in 2009. Um, but but guys, I guess that's it for me tonight. Like I said, if you want to check out the Universal Monsters stream tomorrow night, I would love to have you guys there here in the chat talking with me about all that stuff. And then, like I said, on Sunday will be part 2 of that. And then just keep an eye out, on the channel, because I'm always, coming up with spur of the moment type ideas to do shows and stuff. Like I just started the new wrestling series, so definitely, if you're a wrestling fan, check those out as well. But guys, I'm out of here for tonight. Just thank you all, everybody that was here and talking in the chat, Jason and Dana, and just everybody watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I love you guys, and have a good night.